Well, hello and welcome back, Brawlers and Bakugan enthusiasts. It's BakuBrad96 here with the next installment of my little Armored Alliance Fusion series. I decided to, why not go ahead and do it alphabetically. That means last video it was Aquas. This time I'm diving into Darkus and the Aurelus Fusion or Ultra Fusion that is show canon was between Howlkor and Serpenteze. So sadly, Aurelus Serpenteze was never released in Battle Planet, but we did get the core version, so this video is possible, even if we do have to wing it a little bit. So going ahead and taking a look at core Serpenteze, definitely a lot of detail to this Bakugan, right? And, you know, honestly, from Battle Planet, one of my favorite core Bakugan just because of all of the detail, all of the line work. I think Battle Planet just had a lot of peak molding design. It's really when Spin Master gave the reboot 100%. Likewise for Armored Alliance, and I think in Bakugan Rising they tried, but that's just when the company started to fall, right? I think we can all agree that it started going downhill right towards the end of Bakugan Rising and then throughout the rest of the series. And that's not to say Evolutions didn't have some bangers, and the same for Legends, but the fact is that Battle Planet, Armored Alliance, and Bakugan Rising, those are the years that people are going to think of, at least in my opinion, when they think of the Bakugan reboot. So yeah, Aurelus Serpenteze, and for the life of me in the show, this Bakugan had a name. It wasn't Aurelus Serpenteze. It's like Howlkor fused with something. The same for the Nobilius with Trox. And again, I cannot think of the name. I think one of them started with a Z. I don't know which one. But yeah, so this is the Aurelus Serpenteze. Again, shame that there's not an Ultra. I did want to do the fusion sets and have them all Ultra Bakugan because the Aurelus X native is Ultra, but you know, sadly kind of missed out on that one. I guess I could do a custom of the Aurelus Serpenteze, maybe using a Ventus, but I'm nowhere near that good to get that kind of coloring, and not to mention to cover up already like a mold that already has a color, that would be a pain. But taking a look at the Howlkor, well, if I can roll it. Wow, can't even roll it and it's like a centimeter away. Of course, every time. Anyway, as I was saying, taking a look at Howlkor Ultra. Does have some manual pieces in the little front feet here. Otherwise, you know, I don't think there's any other manual pieces. No, there's not. So that is all. Yeah, again, like I was saying with the Aquas Hydrus in that video, the Armored Alliance Ultras are a lot smaller, and I think they were tuned down, whereas the Battle Planet Ultras just were really huge, right? Like big heads, big features. Armored Alliance Bakugan, they were kind of shrunk a little bit to make room for the Bakugear accessories, and that makes total sense. Honestly, I think it worked with Howlkor. You know, the Ultra for Battle Planet was just really weird. But in this one, you know, the Armored Alliance, they did it right. You got a lot of detail in the heads. You kept them small. They didn't take up half the figure, right? That was the problem with the Battle Planet. Is just proportionally, it was kind of funky. I still like it. Still really cool Bakugan. It is in the personal collection. But for the sake of this video, I was going to go ahead and just use the Armored Alliance one. Plus, it gave me a reason to mess with a Bakugan that I don't normally mess with. But yeah, a ton of detail. A lot of coloring, right? Like a ton of purple. I know there are some Darkus Bakugan that don't nearly get enough treatment paint-wise. So that's really nice. Good bit of detail. Again, we have the peg holes for the gear. And I think this Bakugan had the Ultra that was like the claws, right? So it would connect here and they would go all the way down. So it really makes sense why Spin Master chose to change the molding. But looks way cool, right? I do like it. For the Fusion, I think they kept a lot of the same kind of similar things. Wow, that was completely fail. The Ultra kept a lot of the same kind of ideas in the Fusion. So if you take a look at the heads, again, much bigger in proportion. You know, they made it more, I guess, snake-like, right? They pointed the snout Wanted to give it a little more Serpenteze feel. A lot of detail though, silvered it out because you want to have the Aurelus color palette. But still, really similar and very nice looking, very clean. All the heads the same size, right? That is huge after all. And then, yeah, still kept it, with the purple. You had the Darkus. But just like I talked about with the Hydrus and Trino fusion, the Aurelus detailing, just the coloring pops, the gold against the black. And then, of course, you have all of the silver on the muzzles of Howlkor's heads. So that's just really nice. And honestly, probably some of my favorite Bakugan from Armored Alliance is the native fusions. Took me a while to track all of these down. For those of you on my Discord server, you all know how long it took, especially with that pesky Feral fusion. But luckily have them, and I'm glad I can finally be making some new Bakugan content. It has been a while. Speaking of content, as I close this Serpenteze, I do want to let everyone know there is a little bit of a diversity now, right? Like there's Magic, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! I've got some Beyblade battles, I've got some Beyblade and Bakugan battles. So, I'm just kind of trying to do a whole lot of different things to find my niche in the community, my little corner. I started with Bakugan. I don't know if Bakugan will be a mainstay. I want it to be part of my channel always. But, I also want to find new things I can do and fun, awesome content that's going to just, I don't know how to explain it, just make me happy, right? Like, I want to make content that makes me happy making it. I don't want to just make content to make it because then that's no fun. I just want to have fun doing this like I always have. And you being the awesome Baku crew, you know it. You support me, you watch my videos, and thank you all so much for the support. Through the years, it has been amazing. So to close Serpenteze, you're going to want to fold down the head, fold down the tail, the wings close in, and then this little back piece closes in. I have seen people close this piece in first and then the wings, but I always feel a little more resistance if you do it that way. A little easier if you do the wings first. And then on the outside, very basic, nice, clean mold. Love Serpenteze, a lot of detail, a lot of awesomeness. For the Ultra Howlkor, I think it's pretty simple. Again, I don't mess around with these too much because they are older. And you all see this loose foot. I just don't want anything to break. So you're going to fold up the manual feet, close and slide in the spring-loaded feet, which is horrible when you have sausage fingers like me, but yep, you're going to hold that closed. Then the heads are going to go in, you're going to hold those, wrap the tail all the way around, and that is how you close Howlkor Ultra, more or less. Probably my way, probably the wrong way, but yeah, the Ultra is closed. Very nice. A little bit of that Alto Brontes, unfortunately the Ultra Bakugan just can't get out of that the way they're designed. They've got to have that pop, got to have that flip action, so you do sacrifice that perfect spherical shape. Still awesome, though. And then to close the fusion, probably one of the easiest ones that I have. You just roll the feet in, roll the heads back. Then the wings close in on the sides, like so. And then once again, you're just going to wrap the tail around, which I feel like is normal with most Bakugan. The tail kind of holding everything together is really usually how it goes. But this is the Howlkor and Serpenteze fusion, all closed up. Very nice looking Bakugan, very cool looking set. So I hope you all stay tuned, because next time I will be taking a look at the Chaos set, which is Pegatrix and Gorine. Very nice. So as always, thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day, everyone.